Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and this isn't the second time I'm recording this in a row because the volume wasn't working at all. I'm okay. It's okay. We have jungle changes, so now I'm enthusiastic because, you know, AFK farming meta is, you know, significantly reduced somehow, and we'll talk about that as the game goes on. But I like this game because it mirrors my own preferences and style in terms of how I like to jungle. To a certain degree, of course, Master Tier Korea, so... you know, that's higher than Master Tier in almost every other region, unless you're on Ionia or something like that. We are starting here on the blue into a Grump. We missed our W, we can laugh about that. Brand shows up with a little bit of mana missing, so we'll assume Rumble was leashed thusly. Runes were on your screen, Dark Harvest, Ravenous Hunter, a little bit of absolute focus for utmost stonks up front when you want to go for the burst damage. Core on Taliyah. Now, the added HP to the blue and so on is negated to a somewhat small degree because of these smite changes. We talk about it a little bit later in the game, but basically it's 450 now as opposed to like 380, 390 early on. And as such, no matter your level, you will be in a 50-50 with the other jungler. Nice kiting into the red side, and that's very important. If, for example, and this is something we have to talk about, if, for example, you know, you're against, you know, I would do this as Volibear, actually. Not to most players, right? But to sort of, like, if you were facing a Taliyah and you're smurfing, if you guys just simply play in, like, a below, say, D2 level, and you're playing a Volibear or something, these invades can be very nice against Taliyahs, because even if you just do a 3-camp blue side, and you want to get into this area, for whatever reason, say, you know, you're level 4 and she's level 3 or whatnot, it would never happen, right? It would never happen, obviously, but the smite will be the exact same amount. So these early levels are very important, especially for those level 2 invades. You know, if you level 2 invade and someone does a 3-camp but is level 3 when they arrive, they will very easily outsmite you. Now, she's kited out here with a lot of confidence. Because Rumble is going to be more of your classic 6-camp, you know, Season 11 meta champion, the Taliyah is low in HP. She does not have a lot of resources necessary to gank this, but if she waits just a little bit, chugs her potions, lets the red buff do its work, she can easily go in here for a nice gank. Flash should be free, mage top lane, that's why we don't do it, but you can always repeat gank that. Now the Rumble most likely is going to do the classic stuff of full clear down into the bottom side crab. The Taliyah goes back in immediately, he has no flash and he dies. Perfect. Perfect. And this is exactly what I've been doing with Warwick. I like to go red and blue, red buff into a blue side into red side. And what I'll do is, I think she needs to check that. You know Rumble's not here. I mean, Rumble must be bottom side. But if you're a bit paranoid, use your Q to check the bush. Keep your eyes on the map, because if he shows somewhere, hey, the TF, you see, this is nice. The TF is basically saying, thank you for the information, Mr. Jungler. I will go back on the top side of the mid lane, knowing that he's here and could be looking to do this. Now, the classical meta, right, was you do the 6-camp, you do the crab, the enemy jungler would do the same thing, you maybe both look to dive or gank the side lane, and now you know at 4 minutes, 4 or 5 or so, the second Grump is going to spawn. So let's observe how that changes. Because the Taliyah did blue into Grump, the Rumble knows that's a possibility. 345, take the bottom crab, gank bottom lane, and then go and steal your Grump, but he now, that's not an option, ganks mid lane. He uses his flash here, Twisted Fate also has to flash, Lee Sin gets the kill, and he gets the double scuttle. Smite removes that shield now, which is great for Rumbles and Nidalis. We don't have Prio, so we do the Raptor camp, I think that's fine, but if we have a TP ping by a mid laner, hello, we can cause a fight. Now, normally, at this point, Rumble could go straight to his Grump, right? But his Grump isn't up yet. Now it's up, 419. So obviously the time wasted there is fine, because he's going back to base, but now we're going to have a fight. TP by both mids. Taliyah skirt the edges. Aatrox, do your thing. Twisted Fate go into melee range, basically. Yellow cut someone. Good. Great for Taliyah for the setup. Target the person in front of you, obviously. And now you want to kite out. Kite out, kite out. You'll have your W up. And E. Very nice. Triple kill. Triple kill. And this is what I've been doing with Warwick, with Volley. With Volley, obviously, I can do a 5-camp. Rengar can do such things as well. I love it. I love it. I don't mind giving up 2 crabs. I mean, I don't like it. I would prefer myself to control the crab. So, just out of a full discussion. In your elos, most likely you start bottom side, and they start bottom side, and you both sequence up. I would love to do a 4 camp into a gank of some kind, into a crab, and then taking a double crab. And then what you can do is you can loop it back again, and in fact you could be 6. It's very nice. But you can also do a variety of other clears just to get to the other side to get a crab if you don't feel like you can 1v1. But I love what the Taliyah did in terms of getting on the map before the full clear jungler. Just because those spawn timers on the camps will add up. They will add up as the game goes on. I don't like this. I think this is pushing it a little bit. You know Rumble is going to come out of base and do the Gromp. Then he's going to sequence down. Because that's what he set up when he first rotated. That hasn't changed. It's still possible to do. You just have to fill those 15 seconds with something, you know, and that's the case of fight. So the fighting junglers and the ganking junglers and the counter-ganking junglers, I hit the mic, I apologize, are all in prime position to succeed. Back to base, spend our gold, soak boots, more damage to monsters, more damage to champions. Now a lot of you will be thinking, hey, Rumble is gonna do this, right? Don't think anyone's confused about that. He will be level 5, or even level 6. Probably, actually, because of the fights and everything, the double scuttle, he'd be level 6. Which means you want to take this Grump, get level 5 first, and then gank bottom lane. I think getting on the map here is very important. Now, oftentimes I will say do Wolves, Grump, and then bot. But if it's a fast-clearing jungler that's meta, that's strong, like Rumble and so on, getting there first is very important. Now, we are disrupted. Leona will hit the Zenith Blade. Don't focus her, focus the ADC. There you go. You can just attack beyond her. Don't need to hit her, she's super low. The Equalizer level 6 comes through from the Rumble. The fact that you're level 5 is fine. Your bottom lane's alive, the bottom lane is dead. We have chain CC. A lot of nice setup for Taliyah. Beautiful. Who would you rather be, my friends? Who do you think is having more fun this game? Rumble or Taliyah? She ganked top lane first. She created the fight. She created the triple. She laid the foundation. Rumble ganked the mid laner, the Twisted Fate, who died. So the Rumble did something as well. They both ganked, yes? But the difference is that Taliyah is just a little bit better at keeping that range and skirmishing with her team comp, which is a whole different discussion about Rumble at the moment. But Taliyah, I think, bruv, you're dead. Keep your range, E from the Rumble. Aha! Nice. Nice. So the Taliyah out of base here. Your highest tier camp will be the Gromp when it respawns, because that's the last camp you took. The Krugs and Raptors are up as well. We can take our blue. I think here that we should definitely go for the... I would like to go for the crab. I think in your elos, once bot lane shows and you can hit the plant to C, you can just take this crab. I think that's fine. I think that's a better play. You can just blue into crab. And then you can look, obviously, level 6, you can go bottom lane. Level 6, you can go bottom lane. But... obviously, it depends on the level of the crab and so on. I think she would have been... I think she would have been fine, right? Yeah, she would have been absolutely fine to get 6 with that, ignoring the wolves, but the sequencing is good, and now we translate that to a bottom lane gank. As expected. Dead. This is jungling, ladies and gentlemen. Jungling involves ganks and fights over objectives, and now we can steal the Drake. Perfection. This is exactly how I like to use Warwick, and now he's forced, you know, he's forced here to take his blue. He sees you bottom side. He knows your bottom side, so he's going to take your Raptors, he's going to take your red, he's going to gank top lane. This is normal. I'm sorry, top laners. I will sell your soul. I will gank you early, but then I will sell your soul to get double kills and dragons. Apologize. We lose the Herald. In lower elos, as you saw from the Warwick video on the main channel yesterday, in lower elos, they won't punish you with this. Sorry, you can look at it, I guess. He's smacking a Herald. In what is weird, in a weirdly placed eye, and I can come up with some demonetizable jokes about that, but I won't. You know, the lower elo junglers, they won't take this Herald. And what you can then do as a Taliyah should know, she should know this is all gone. It's a little bit of a missed call here, like that she checked it. But then you can always very much clear the rest of your camps, make sure this quadrant's down. Maybe repeat gank bottom lane. I don't think you should though. I think then we can reset. And now you've got your Krugs, we can gank top lane, we can fall to the Herald. In lower elos, that's a great play. Twisted Fate's engaging into a Leona Jinx. We have a Gallia ult. Fear lands, he flashes. Jinx is gonna hit the W. It's a good stopwatch. I think Jinx is a little upset. But who created this? Who laid the foundations for what's happening right here? Taliyah's holding mid lane. Who created that? It was a Taliyah. Gank top, burn sums, be ready, good skirmishing jungler, fight the rumble over the crab with your team. If your team doesn't rotate and you simply win 1v1, take the fight, win it. That's what I did yesterday versus other junglers. I just take volley and just kill people. And if I'm Warwick, same thing, I just rotate and kill people. Now the thing is, okay, this is where things have changed, is you create this by spam ganking bottom lane and taking dragons. You kind of redirect the rumble here, that's unfortunate. But holding this, you know, all your camps are spawning a bit out of whack because we're not really fully sequencing like a classical jungler. We're not fully quadrant clearing and so on. That does not help in this situation, but Rumble's been counter jungling. Counter jungling will have value because the camps, again, take a longer time to spawn. So if I gank bottom lane and he takes my stuff and I do a whole bunch of stuff in turn, in 2 minutes I know the Raptors are up again. Now that's 215 and it keeps adding up. It's very small, but there will be windows where you have to wait 10, 15 seconds. And if you're standing around, it's not good. So here you see from the mid lane holding it, Grump isn't up, Wolves just respawn, this respawn. There's no real sequence for me to have. So what I can do is push him off. If I have team prior, now we can go and counter jungle and invade ourselves, which should happen. Then we can go take the red. She's being a bit cautious because it is Rumble, strong in isolation in a vacuum. Pilot, skill, and team composition notwithstanding, which begs a theoretical versus realistic data discussion, but I'll let Freak handle that. And everyone else involved in that, I don't wish to get involved whatsoever. And here, steal red into bottom lane. Now, bottom lane should know that this is going on. And if Master Tier / Grandmaster Tier in Korea don't know, your Diamond homies don't know either. Your Platinum homies don't know either. And you should have no issue killing them. Again, another gank. Your Kai'Sa is getting juiced. You are 6-0-2. You are controlling the game. And now, instead of feeling the need to do this, nice rotation from Aatrox, translate from bottom lane to mid lane. Don't let them get those plates. Let's go. So, on the note of that, why is Taliyah not played more? She's still good, guys. Yeah, she has a huge skill requirement, you know. But in this 4 to 5 camp transition phase that you'll see from junglers that like to scrap and get on the map to make up the experience lost that way, and then fall back to the camps who can clear fast and fight well, like Taliyah, like a Volleyball, like a Warwick. I think they're going to greatly enjoy the meta. Zin as well. I just made the video early in the week. I do think he's going to be very strong. Here you could look to counter jungle, but because Rumble died here, we can anticipate he's just going to go and do this. So if you greed for the Grump, you die. And you don't do that. Business. Aatrox, run. Aatrox. Anyway, so don't greed for counter jungling after you get kills and so on. It's okay to give it up and fall back. This is nice. Sorry. Clear your quadrant. TP coming in here from the blue team. Clear your quadrant on the top side. That's unfortunate, but there's no dragon, so. They were bound to make a counterplay at some point, but this is good anyway. You want this to be finished, go back to base, and then head down for your dragon. Obviously, if the dragon's respawning and you want to fight and your team are reaching itemization spikes, don't finish the quadrant and lose objectives in fights because of it, right? Galio ult, Taliyah over the wall. Oh, Taliyah over the wall, and now we can chase down. The Jinx ult went all the way up to the top of the map. I think just zone here. The Lee Sin ward hopped to Narnia because I don't know where that's going. Yeah, that's great. Nice rotation. Good reset on the top side. Yes, your Raptors and Red Buff did spawn and you took your Krugs, but they weren't up at the time. And that's something that's going to be very important as well. When you're counter jungling now and you cause a distortion in the spawn time, it's even greater, right? So the Taliyah won't wait 15 to 20 seconds just to resequence a quadrant purely. She'll just go back to base. Now we're going back to base because we can get a Magi Soul Stealer and probably a control ward. There we go. Very nice. I do think in your elos, alright, just as a live calculation that you're not going to have Kai'Sas that are fed swapping to kill Brands. You're not going to have, you're going to have this. You're going to have your mid laner dying to the jungle in the mid laner, and the jungle is going to be coming from the top side. So you can definitely rotate, collapse, and kill. This is great, good job. Galio can also rotate, collapse, and kill. So this is where the high-low separation comes out. But up until this point, I don't see why you would be doing anything it in your games. You will give you the utmost control. And the thing is, I would like to say out of base, as we avert this fight here, I don't want to talk while they're fighting. You know, once you've cleared this and you go back to base, you rotate to the fight, you reset for the Magi so that everyone can get their own buys and get back on the map. I do think I would normally hightail to the Dragon. Now, as a Warwick Volibear, I'm going to clock. Taliyah isn't, right? Taliyah isn't on that same clock. For me, 4 Dragons, 2 Heralds, and a Baron, and I win the game. I get on the map after 4 to 5 camps. If I can win the double scuttle fight, I do it. Just push them off, kill them, and take it. If they have prio, I reverse. I understand the lanes when I need to do that. And in turn, because I can rotate fast, I'm always fighting, I'm always ganking, and Warwick loves skirmishing. And because the camp experience hasn't really been nerfed, I'm still getting 6 fast and early. I'm still getting 2 level leads over the enemy jungler, and the catch-up experience doesn't do anything. It's absolutely minimal. Even if the jungler's down 2 levels, right? They're not down 2 levels on the game. And we've seen Phalaris on the Reddit talk about like how it rounds up. If you're 1.1 levels behind, it rounds up to 2, so you get the experience. Such things I didn't really get to, I didn't have time to go through all the details of that, but it's absolutely minimal. It's not going to impact you whatsoever. Here now, this is the aggressive play. This is the coordinated, everyone's fed play. Get into the jungle, flank, ward, trap, obliterate. And you can see the Galio's done a magnificent job here, but the Taliyah is a driving force. And I think if you're looking for a way to smurf and solo queue, if you're looking for a way to control games, objectives, lanes, and put the enemy jungler on a leash, this is the kind of style that you want to do. And always look for picks in the jungle. Here's one now. Upcoming. Walking into the bush, thinking he's going to get away with it. Galio primes his taunt, and he dies. That was engaging. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about here. Farming junglers are not dead, right? It's not all over and they can't be used. They can be. But yeah. Onto the Dragon though, we fall back to it. I suppose this is a more conservative. Is it more conservative? It's more conservative with objectives. It's more aggressive with carrying. When everyone knows what they're doing, I think it's fine, but I just really like, you know, put your ducks in a row, objectives. I like getting 4 Drakes, 2 Heralds, and a Baron and winning the game before Elder Dragon spawns. It's like my internal clock really rings to that tune. Clears a quadrant to loop, right? No need to go back to base. Could easily take these down into the crab pit to scan and get this Rift Herald. Decides to shadow the Kai'Sa just because she doesn't want to leave. I think that's fine too. You have to play the game, the human. There he is. You see, he showed up. This is why I don't want to give this away for free. One bad fight, one instance where people get caught out, yeah, okay, he has to leave. And all of a sudden, you're going to be in a situation where they can Herald push, you know? I don't think I'm that obsessed over the second Herald. I'll take it if there's a flow to the game, but... So, Brand top lane doing work. Ulting from ability and cutting off, very nice. Very nice, and Twisted Fate comes on the other side. The Leona will engage, use the positioning, has to actually flash, but the chase down here, Leona's ult misses. We have the Kai'Sa, and that's a cleanup. Another triple kill, 2 in 1 game. Taliyah's about positioning. Taliyah is still very good, by the way. And actually, Freak was addressing this in his discussion. I got almost all the way through before I wanted to record this as I have coaching soon. Link for that below. He was talking about Taliyah's power in the early game in terms of pro play picking it and how it was still strong, but because they nerfed her clearing damage to monsters slightly, people just dropped her. And I think that's why you're seeing her win rate is so good with that 1% pick rate in Hilo. Obviously, she's a supremely skill-limited champion. You have to be mechanically good. You have to understand how to play the game. But she's still strong. And in a meta where 4-5 camps can thrive, and ganking and skirmishing can thrive, she's going to have a much better time. Because, ultimately, as we know, farming is not dead, it's just slowed down. It's slowed down. And the smite changes, we didn't really talk about the smite changes. They don't really have an impact. I will say, embarrassingly, while this game is closing up, closing up here, I lost a Herald because I was timing my perfect smite as a level 6 jungler. And, sorry, level 7 jungler. And the enemy jungler just came and smited it, and I'm just open mouth shocked. Rumble ult into a choke, that's what we want. Taliyah's just saying whatever. I take the Herald, perfect, I'm accept with that trade. And he came and stole it because he had 900 on the smite, and that was the first game, and I had to basically realize, you know what? I had 900 also. So from a behind perspective, I don't like it. Like, I'd earned myself a lead over this jungler. He was 6, I was 7. Later on, I was 3 levels up. Taliyah comes through, Twisted Fate ults, Rumble dies, Lee Sin dies. Nice snowball. I'll close this game up in a second with an explanation. But yeah, so just keep an eye on the smite, right? It's 900 once you fully satisfied the 5 smites win condition, or mission, whatever you want to call it. Wow, it's a lot of damage. But it's 450 early, so you can smite earlier in your clear as well. Even though there's more HP in the monsters, you get more HP back, and it's a higher amount, so it should come out as a net neutral. Now for this game, taking an inhibitor this early, I think is fine if you're going to close out, which it looks like they're actually going to do. Now, they're going to close this out. But the point of the game, and I hope this isn't lost in you all, and it's a shorter game, 20 minutes, because in an ideal jungle fashion, you gank lanes, you destroy enemy jungler. Oh, they didn't finish. And in turn, your laners use that to gain an advantage over the map, and then you can invade and get all the objectives. That's the dream, right? So this kind of operates a bit on that dream function, but it was all the Taliyah. You can see this. The Galio's done an absolutely exquisite job, and the bottom lane have done a good job, but we made sure Aatrox could survive his matchup. We got double scuttled, but it doesn't matter because of the way we sort of set our camps up. We still got a full clear. And then reset straight into bottom lane, knowing he was going to sequence 2 times. And that's the biggest thing against farming junglers and things like that. That'll give you a huge advantage. They surrender. Make sure you translate that into dragons. Bit of a free-flowing game, just like exploring my thoughts about the changes. These will get more refined as the patch goes on. I just wanted to explain how I'm liking to play the game at the moment, and how you're seeing some high elo players use it with Taliyahs and such. Keep experimenting, keep full clearing. Things like Karthus are still going to be good, but definitely more punishable. Stay tuned for more videos on Saturday on this channel, and tomorrow the tier list on the main channel. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. New chair, you can't see it. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. This is comfy though.